Today on Power Forward, we're taking stock of solar business in 2024 and previewing what's happening at RE Plus in Anaheim with BayWa RE Director of Business Development, Travis Walker.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me.
With RE Plus being the biggest solar and storage trade show in North America, always a great time to think about where we're at and where we're going next, right? And residential solar installations have been down in 2024, and the business in general feels like it's changing. So kind of reflecting back on the previous 12 months, what aspects of this market would you say are here to stay or harbingers of what's to come?
It's interesting because my time in distribution, I just came to BayWa about 4 or 5 months ago. And before that, I was working at Mosaic for the last two and a half years. So really getting it to see from the financier side and now from the distributor perspective, and really seeing the challenges that really unfold to be in the industry today. I think when you think through what are some of the things that might have happened to some of these installers that fell on hard times, the first was, and a lot of this has been dialed back a little bit, but the M1 payments that were coming from financiers really killed industry. I actually think was really harmful for the solar industry, because what it was doing, it was paying you for work that you hadn't completed yet. And so there was no requirement to use that money on the install that it was actually meant to be used for. And so as the economic downturn really happened in 2023, back end of 2022, in terms of finance rates going through the roof, one of the things that most financiers pulled back on were M1 payments. And so not having those available to a lot of installers that were kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, they were taking the money for X install, but they were really paying out marketing spend or other installs that were not paid for, that the money was used. That was really a hard time. And so when that money got taken away, we saw a lot of installers really struggle with that. But I think the concept of M1 payments is what should really be taken into consideration, which is don't rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Don't take money that should be spent for X and spend it on Y thinking, well, I'll make it up later, because eventually later could hit you really hard.
So with that in mind, what do you say are healthy business practices this year, and what should installers that you're talking to, like what are you advising them to be like doing now that you weren't maybe this time last year?
Yeah, there's a few things that I'd like to run through on that. I think one is find ways to be loyal, but be diverse. And I know I know that could be contradictory in some way, right? But don't be the installer that is running to the cheapest new thing all the time. Hey, this particular financier or distributor or manufacturer is offering the absolute cheapest, and I want to make sure that I can have the cheapest value to offer better red lines to salespeople or whatever the case may be, or make more profit. Because what happens is if you continuously run for the cheapest option, one, you don't build loyalty with stable companies. You're always kind of jumping back and forth. Number two is, guess what? At some point, that cheap option is not going to be a cheap option, which is also kind of a word of wise I would give to installers. If something seems too good to be true, it is, right? If the market is priced here and they're priced there, something's wrong. And so what's going to happen is once that market is corrected, once their micro market is corrected, what's going to happen is they're either going to pull back from you suddenly, which we've seen in the market unfortunately happen. They're going to pull away from you suddenly. Two, or they're going to go out of business. Or three, they're just going to rework everything and they're going to raise their rates. And now they're going to be what everyone else is, but maybe not be able to provide you with the stability or service or any of the other things that some of the longer standing businesses in that industry are able to provide for you. Think of that when I think about BayWa being able to provide for customers a really stable environment that is not only backed by our time in the United States, but our company's history in Europe, and that stability and how that allows you as an installer to feel really comfortable with the company that you're doing business with. I think another one that is this is a hard one, and I know this is going to be a hard one. Salespeople, close your ears, right? Long-term good money is better than short-term great money. And so what happens is if you start chasing the newfangled thing because your salespeople want it, i.e., you go to the absolute cheapest TPO and you run all of your business through there, and there's this brand new TPO but maybe they haven't had an opportunity to build out their infrastructure to handle the amount of deals that you're giving them, or your business isn't built to be able to take all the right amount of pictures and roll the right amount of trucks. You have all this business coming in because you're trying to service your salespeople instead of having good conversations with them about how do I create a stable business where we're in business for a really long time together. I want to make sure you make good money for a really long time, not just great money now, and then all of a sudden we're struggling to make payroll because we got ourselves into a situation where we probably weren't with the right opportunity, right? And so make sure that you as the installers are running your company. Take care of your salespeople. I don't want you to not hear that part. Take care of your salespeople, but not to the extent that it damages your business. Grow responsibly. Every business needs to be looking for opportunities to grow. But the ones that I see are really successful right now, I was sitting with an installer, Jason, my VP of sales. We traveled and we're seeing this installer, and we're talking about our new opportunity to help support residential solar companies that might want to get into their first commercial job. So we started a expert services desk support staff, right, led by Glenn Hall here on our team. And we were telling them about this new opportunity that we're building out. And so we said, hey, by the way, are you interested in commercial at all? And they just said, nope. Right. And it was like this perfect answer. It was like, hey, are you thinking about expanding into any other states? And they're like, nope. And they're a really big installer, but they're just doing really good in the states they're in. They said, hey, maybe down the road we'd look at commercial, but we want to be good at what we're good at. We know what we're good at today. We're going to focus on that, especially in these tough times, right? So not to say that there's not an opportunity. There's other installers that say, hey, we have the infrastructure built out. We would like to use your expert services desk to help us get our first commercial job. Great. Awesome. We're here to support that. But know what you're good at. Focus on those things and grow responsibly. BayWa has great services and great staff to help people understand financing, overall distribution, forecasting, commercial. Reach out to those resources, use those resources to help you grow effectively.
A lot of great points there, stuff I want to unpack. I kind of want to go back to the idea of product selection, especially kind of in the context of RE Plus coming up. You know, for installers that are headed to Anaheim, when they're walking around and checking out new products and hearing sales pitches, what questions should they be asking to make sure that they're not kind of like lulled into going with just, well, hey, this product's new and it's a little bit cheaper, and you know, I'm trying to make my margins that way.
It can always be, and RE Plus is the perfect place to be. I think they have 40,000 people attending, right? Like, it is our Super Bowl in the solar industry. If you're, I'm not to give them free publicity, but if you're not going to RE Plus, like, it's the place to be for our industry for sure. And definitely would love to meet you if you are going. So please look out for us. One of the things I think is really important for people to look out for is this a product that you're just showing for RE Plus? Is it ready to go? A lot of times people will bring prototypes there. So before you start locking yourselves into, like, I think this is a great product, like asking some really in-depth questions around availability, understanding domestic content and everything that goes around that with that specific item. I know that's going to be a hot topic specifically with TPO providers. So understanding that, asking the appropriate questions to understand how this is going to help you if that's something that you're interested in this year, which I'm sure a lot of people are. Also, how does their product pair with other big brands on the market? So how do they interact with some of the things that you're already installing? They should be able to talk about that in detail. If they can't give you specifics, I would be a little concerned. And another big thing I think you should look out for is warranties. We have got to be better from a customer service perspective, from a product service perspective. Like, we have got to provide homeowners with a better overall customer service experience. And so knowing that the product is covered under warranty for X amount of years is great. Also look at who that warranty is backed by. Is it back? What type of company are they? Who are they being financed by? If being financed by a bigger, larger company, is a small fly-by-night company. Understand those things before you attach your customer service to that product.
And then thinking on the financing side, which, you know, we've emphasized a lot here, is like super important right now. How should I be evaluating loan and TPO providers then and what they're offering?
Yeah, really great question, right? I think it's really important to keep a couple things in mind. Stable versus cheapest. Stable is going to be here for a long time. Cheapest is going to be cheap for now. I understand I've done it. I've sat at a kitchen table and sold. I know exactly what you're going through. Price can be a determinant of whether people buy solar or not, but it is not the only determinant. And so making sure that you're signing people up for companies that are going to be around, that are going to get you paid, right? You might sell a product and it may take you forever to get paid. So make sure that you're looking for stable versus cheapest and always weighing those two things out. And look out for the what's up with that, right? This company is growing super fast, right? They are just exploding. What's up with that? Like, why are they growing so fast, right? They're cheaper than everyone else by a mile. What's up with that? Why? Like everyone else is like, why are they doing that, right? Rules that seem to be overly favoring installers, but you know in your head it doesn't protect their business. Like, what's up with that? Why would they be doing that, right? Last red flag I would really look for is anyone that is trying to get you to say, hey, I'll give you X if you give me exclusive. Like, what's up with that, right? Like, no, you're not required to be exclusive with anybody to buy anything, right? So you should base my deal that you're going to give me based on either size or quality of business I send you, but it shouldn't be based on I have to give you all of my business. First off, you'll never know that anyways, but when people say things like that, I would back away and say kind of what's up with that, because we live in an industry where you shouldn't have one financier. I know I work for a distributor, but you shouldn't probably have one distributor. Like, you probably shouldn't have one manufacturer. If they don't have what you need at a specific time, you will not be able to service the customer, and that's priority number one.
I definitely like that. I'm going to be walking into RE Plus with all. I'm going to hit every single booth I go to with any with a what's up with that, and see how they respond. I like that.
Yeah.
What else is going on at RE Plus? We've been talking kind of like all the serious stuff. Just is there anything fun happening that we should know about?
Right. Yeah. Let's have a blast. RE Plus, have fun. This is a great event to meet people. This is an opportunity to just network in general. So hopefully you're finding ways to network with folks. BayWa has a couple of great events. One event we have is our big main event is our bowling event Wednesday night. We're taking over a bowling alley. It's going to be drinks and food and fun. Over 150 people are invited. Please get with your outside sales rep immediately. If you haven't gotten your invite, try to get one. Once it's full, it's full. You won't be able to get in, but get with your outside sales rep here at BayWa. It's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to midnight. So extended to the hours. We were going to go from 7 to 10, but it's time to turn up, Chris, and have a blast at RE Plus. So we're gonna turn it up a little bit. And then we have a scavenger hunt, which we're partnering with SMA on. Starts Tuesday, goes through Wednesday. Starts at the BayWa booth. That's where you pick up all your scavenger hunt stuff. And then Wednesday ends with happy hour Wednesday from 4 to 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got my invite to that bowling thing. I'll check my I'll check my inbox again.
Chris, I got you.
I'm sure
I got
there.
you taken care of.
All right, sounds good.
We'll take care of you at the door for sure.
Well, regardless, we're all heading out there pretty soon. And Travis, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to stop by your busy schedule right now on Power Forward and talk about all of it. And looking forward to seeing you out there.
Yep. See you soon, Chris.